people in here already. Thank you so much, everybody. 29 out of 31 of you hit the like button. This is unbelievable. I really appreciate that. If you're tuning in now, if you're watching after the live, I greatly appreciate your time, your effort, your commitment to try to stay ahead of the charts, the news, and try to keep a proper spin on things. So we'll get into this in a sec. I want to get into a little intro here, talk about what we're looking at, and say hi to everybody who's tuning in early here. So, good evening. 7:49 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, August 21st, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So I do appreciate everybody tuning in. This is a very important daily close. ATK Prosperity, Miss Vicky, welcome in, love. Jorge, Hamza. Love seeing a consistent group in here as well. Justin. Terry, welcome in. Justin Clark, JB Blaze, Jeff Pruitt. Good evening. Anyone else think it's a coincidence that I don't think it's a coincidence. I don't. Especially with the BRICS meeting tomorrow. It's very interesting indeed. Randy, welcome in. Dean, good evening. Mr. Extra Sour Cream Taco Supreme, welcome in. Richard Williams, Flex RP, John Hall, Ryan Brubaker, Jan, welcome in, love. Mr. Bams, Matt Holden, Rachel, good evening. Welcome back once again. I appreciate you tuning back in. David Nikiza, Harvey Boy, KM, Sashir, Jose, welcome in. I'm glad you're back home safe from your vacation. KM, good evening. Aristolis, James Hunter, what's going on? Hopefully you're having a good evening. Andrew Lurch, welcome in. I appreciate that compliment. What do I think will happen with XRP? We'll talk about what's going to happen with XRP, what we think with the BRICS coming up tomorrow. As now we're caught up here. Jason Nestor, Devin, welcome in. Jason Colliver, nice and early. I appreciate you being here. Kyle Kupiak, welcome in from Massachusetts. Hopefully it went well dropping your daughter off for, I believe, the senior year of college, if I remember correctly in the comments. I try to have a good relationship with everybody when you talk to me in the comments. David, welcome in. I said it right the first time. Of course I did. Carpathian, welcome in. Jason May and Dads, welcome in from Arkansas. Tomorrow is going to be a very interesting day, but right now, in the here and now, report data issue, huh? You know, in all the time that I've used this, I've never seen report data issue. Interesting. So, let's go into the all-time or the short-term chart here so we can catch up. So anybody who was here yesterday, we know what happened. You know, honestly, right now, real quickly, the daily time frame, we could show a pretty strong close here. That looks like it reversed into a Dragonfly Doji here. And if we close above that, let's just say 525 to show ultimate strength, so we don't have to be like, oh, is it 524? Is it 525? You know what? Maybe we should get the exact number here. If we close over 5246 approximately. So 524 is within the plus minus. If we close over that after the touchdown today, that would show signs of strength. So what happened, we failed yesterday to close the weekly over the ascending triangle. We failed to close the weekly over the 20-day support. And we also, for the first time, failed to close the weekly since we made this move up over the falling wedge support. So we failed to hold those three levels. What we managed to do was hold the daily 200 EMA, which we're doing again today. Despite these big drops, we've managed to come back yesterday to break back through the EMA, the 200 EMA. And the breakdown today, as we talked about yesterday in the weekly, I thought it would have been almost a slim to none. It would have behooved us, as I say, to break out again if we're still bullish and not come retest the 200 day and the weekly, because we had such a volatile breakdown, made a move up. Now we had to show sign of strength on the weekly. Now, we have a long time in this weekly, so if we do break down, as I've been stating, there's still a 54% probability with what's going on that we go to 37 cents, but I still think somehow, some way, if there was a chance to trick the traders, this would be the spot. Because right now, I still think more times than not, for everybody. Tanya, welcome in. I really appreciate you tuning in. Justin, 200 EMA daily 525, and we sit at 5246. So close you could consider it spot on. Yep, exactly. That's what I was trying to emphasize. Thank you for doing that, Justin. It's so close that it's within the plus minus here. But it really never usually happens when you have a daily cross, a bearish one or bullish cross, after a volatile move to the down or upside, in this case on the bearish cross to the downside. It usually doesn't happen where this candle somewhere doesn't come up here and retest this. So it feels like we need a retest up here to confirm this pattern is flipped. Otherwise, we can zoom out of here. But either way, it doesn't seem like it's ready yet to just be like, oh, it's over. This was a huge flip right here, though. Very bearish. Look at this. I can teach right now. So look at this. Gravestone Doji followed up by a Dragonfly Doji. Started bearish, as this candle let us to know, but that doesn't tell the whole picture. Yeah, it's going to be a bearish. It'll be bearish from the top here. And it looks very bearish when it broke through to the bottom side, but it very quickly pulled up here, and it really saved face here today for XRP. That looks like a liquidity sweep. I still think we have to come up and retest here. More than likely. Now, does that play out? Who knows with manipulation. That's why I like to be at the positions where we know what's going to happen. So if it breaks down, let's just say we lose this. We get rejected here because this is the all-time pattern. So you created a short-term resistance here. Longer-term pattern plays out from back here. The downtrending resistance from back in 2021, remember. That's how long this pattern's been playing out. And now the completion of it could technically, and this isn't to scare anybody, but if it plays true, it could technically bring us to August of next year at this time. That doesn't mean it has to. And that still means you could come all the way down here. You could play within here. The farther down it goes, it'll take a little bit longer, if it does. But if we do break down, the reason why I look at this spot where I have this arrow pointing is for one reason and one reason only. That's the 60+% mark from the swing high at 937 to the swing low here. In every single instance that XRP's on the weekly time frame had a golden cross, and this is only the third time in its history, it's had a 60% or more correction. Right now our correction was about 54% or 53.5. Is that enough? Or are we content with coming down here to the 2020 uptrend one more time? That's the question. First, just to get out of looking at the falling wedge and looking to get out of the pattern formations and all this other stuff, this is the easier way to look at it because this is the all-time pattern from 2021, and then a little bit shorter here when we had a new resistance or new resistance here forming until the breakout when we couldn't even make it back to the top. So now we're trying to see, are we going to finish through here? Is there something to this? If we can't break over 545, it's a moot point. And isn't it convenient the weekly support right now is at 545, and that's exactly how this is lining up right here, the short-term resistance. There are no coincidences in this. Now, we have not given back the 200 EMA right now in the daily. That's 524. That's 524. That's a very strong pullback up here. Ryan, the significance of the BRICS meeting, it's very simple. The rumor is at some point, this whole BRICS alliance is a way to denounce the US dollar. That means petrol would not be purchased by the US dollar, which means we wouldn't be the world reserve currency. And the rumor is that there's a potential tomorrow that they could announce that they're going to basically go back to a gold standard. In some way, they're going to try to say, even if they don't announce it straight up, they're going to say that they're going to pay in gold, or that's what people are anticipating. Not anticipating, but what they're worried about in the USA. But I'm not. It's kind of one of those things, be careful what you wish for. Because I'm not wishing for this. I just know we're on the wrong side of history here. And that's only because You know, you have to, it's the cleansing that happens in all civilizations. So, you know, so with the BRICS, basically what we're looking at here is there's rumors today that Saudi Arabia, in fact, is joining the BRICS. If that's true and gets confirmed, it's over. It's 100% done deal that, and I don't say 100% often, this would be 100% done deal that they're going to back every purchase by gold. Saudi's backing everything by gold. They've already told other countries that in the future, they haven't said the time, but in the future, crazy, what's so funny? I don't know, did I miss something? But in the future, that they will take your native currency and you won't have to use the US dollar to pay for petrol. And what they'll do is they'll reimburse you in gold. So think about that. If we're not the world reserve currency, what happens? If China, where we're not an exporter nation, we're an importer. We don't export anything anymore. We're a debtor nation as well. We're very big on credit. So if China, who we get most of our stuff from, and those countries in Asia, if they are part of this and their dollar is valued at 55 BRICS, whatever, we don't know what it's called, the BRICS dollar we'll call it, the BRICS. The BRICS stamp is worth 55 BRICS to $1 US. Everybody laughs at me, but if that means if a $10 purchase right now, it costs $10 to buy it from China, and now they're using a denomination where it's 55 to 1, what China and all these countries in Asia just did over the past 3 or 4 decades, oh, ship all your stuff here, it's cheap, cheap, cheap. Build all your factories here, cheap, cheap. Now they build a gold standard and now they flip it on us. They're exporting us everything at a 55 to 1 ratio if they did this. That means if we bought something for $10 today, if you go on the 55 to 1, it starts to turn into Venezuela. Now it costs us $550 for that same $10. And people complained when I used the phone charger analogy. Take a phone charger that you have for $10 that you're buying on, you know, Amazon from China. But what happens if they're part of this and now we have to pay off the other standard and our dollar ain't worth dick? Everybody just thinks the US dollar is so valuable, but that's only because it's the world reserve currency. That is ending. I talked about this in 2021 the most. If the US continues to hold countries hostage by saying, we're going to put you on sanctions, you can never sanction countries when you're the world reserve currency if that's the way people have to feed their families. You can't do it. If that's the way they have to buy oil so that you can run, you can't do it. That's the number one way for your society to go down. Just ask the Greeks and ask the Romans and ask every single one that came before us. Yeah, Jay, 72 countries are confirmed now are going to be joining it. 72. I mean, take your brick to the bank and ask them to convert it to gold. What do you mean? The brick is backed by gold. That's the rumor. You wouldn't have to take it to the bank. It's literally, you would be able to redeem it, yes. If it's backed, that's exactly what the BRICS are saying. You take your currency and you turn it in, and if the Saudis are backing it, that's the rumor, that's exactly what you could do, Terry. You could take your yuan, go buy petrol, and they would give you gold as payment. They would be the mediator. So if China's buying it from Saudi Arabia, or however they decide to do it, Saudi Arabia would be the mediator. And they have a very large reserve of gold. Look how they bought the PGA. Look how they're buying every single entity in individual sports now. Look how they single-handedly are colluding with the NCAA and the pro sports. I mean, just look at what's going on. There's a reason why it's happening. You think the PGA just switched its Saudi run overnight for no reason? Everybody's setting up for the devaluing of the dollar. It's so obvious in sports as well, but it's just, we don't see it. Some of us just don't want to see it. I've been talking about gold and silver since I started on here in 2021 in March. About what my plan was, how I've been starting a central bank, my own, so I don't have to worry about it. You still have to, but I don't want to have to worry about trying to go to the bank and having to get denominations of money. I want all kinds. See, the dollar is currency. You need money. For real, right? Like, why the hell is XRP still 49 cents? I mean, if you want the truth, liquidity. Everybody wants the massive move out right away. If you would have got a move off of here right away, boom, it's over. It's already over, coming back down, and you build an M-topping reversal likely to come down. By doing it like this, if we do it properly, we get the proper liquidity, if this breaks out, that weekly cup and handle is very valid. So there's a lot of things, the regulation, like Miss Vicky said, adoption, all this good stuff. Hey Tom, do you think the BRICS talk tomorrow will cause price of silver and gold to go up overnight? No, I do not. That's the speculation. What I think would happen is, if this plays out properly, you would get, let me just go to the gold chart and we'll go right back. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Time is our friend and all. Yes, it is. Remember, 2028 is the last year where the last financial institution and or bank can use the HTML framework of the old SWIFT system, basically. The old financial system. That means until 2028, you don't get full liquidity. 2025 is a big transfer year as well, when you're going to gain astronomical liquidity. But the maximum liquidity comes in 2028. Like I said, I'm going to be 44 years old when this plan comes into play. I started at 37 with all of you. Now I'm going to be 40 this year in December. So we're 3 years down into basically in March. But that, I mean, am I 44? No. We still have 4 more years. I told everybody it's going to be a long run here. And not many are going to be with us at the end, and that's okay. Not everybody's meant to make the marathon. And I don't mean by death. I mean some people are not going to be here by choice because they're going to get talked out of it. So what do I think is going to happen with gold? Even like B2 gold, everything's on the bottom side. And are we trying to get big retests, or are we just coming up here for rejection? So if we go to the gold chart, because we got to get back into XRP. I'm only going to do this real quick. 146 people here. Wow. Only 69 likes. You know, I would appreciate a like. Honestly, I do this. I don't do any paid advertisement, paid promotions, or paid sponsorships of any kind. I don't do any, I don't hide behind a paywall. So all my information's free. I don't make you sit through anything. I do this for free. Now, if you want to send a YouTube super chat, or if you want to join Tom's Army because you don't want to hit the like button, that's okay. But if you hit the like button, we get more people here on YouTube that will watch us. We get pushed through the algorithm, and more people like you and I can see more people. That's just how it works. So if you want to send a YouTube super chat, by all means, but I just think you should hit the like button. I think my content is worth it. I think what I do every single day, and the dedication, the fact I haven't missed a day since I started in March of 2021, and that's the truth, I think it's worth a like. So with gold real quick, what I could see happening is a quick reversal, but that might mean, and it would get everybody in a frenzy because they probably don't understand the charts. And they'd be like, oh, gold's back up to like 1937, 1940. But that's a very big resistance right now that we'll have to break over. Notice how gold is in this falling channel. These are bullish reversals at the bottom. Now, is the reversal bullish only to 1930? Or is this when it goes parabolic? That's what we don't know. At the same time, the DXY is in a rising channel. I think we can all agree on that. Those are bearish reversals at the top. So whenever this gives way, the US dollar, gold is its position. The moment this goes the other way, gold's position. It's that simple. Silver, much like gold, but it's trying to already start its reversal. You see, silver's already reversing. It didn't wait for gold. It tried, but it didn't wait. It just took off, rebroke that resistance. And now we have to see if it's more like a head and shoulders pattern or a topping reversal. We'll find out if this ends up getting rejected at the 200-day here at about 23.41. But that's gold and silver. That's gold and silver. If I get the proper support, I can bounce around more. But you know, I work on a different kind of wavelength. So like the likes aren't charging anybody for anything. So that shows me your amount of appreciation and how much effort I should be putting in as far as going to 9,000 things at once. Let's put it that way. We can focus on XRP. I'm the XRP future millionaire. So the 20-day right here, major resistance. That's a big resistance here that we're trying to get above, but that's not what we're looking at here in the 4-hourly, in my opinion. Like that's not what I'm paying attention to. I think the higher time frames, because you have, yes, you have the 20-day right there, but the daily support here, if that breaks, it won't even matter about the 4-hourly. The 4-hourly will just continue running through. We need to worry about this bearish cross on XRP. Absolutely, Terry. Absolutely. What is that? Let's see the comment. Sorry, I did not see your comment, KB. I just seen someone respond to it. Darn it, I don't even see it. Oh, Tom Uphold, you can trade for gold and silver instead of take profits, hold for a year, then cash out less. Tax true? No, that's not true. Not if you sell out, even if you, all right, let's say you're in XRP and you buy them for $3,000 and it's worth $5,000. You sell it out, but instead of taking your money, you put all the money in to gold. You still have to pay the transfer of sale. It doesn't matter where it goes. And then you're going to have to pay another tax for buying gold with the same money because it's on an exchange. Don't do that. Unless you're saying, can you buy gold and silver off of the exchange? Honestly, MC Prosperity, that all sounds like a bunch of horse shit to me whenever they say that. No offense if you like the person you're watching, but I don't believe that. It doesn't do them any good. Let me rephrase. It's possible that a first world country could go on a gold standard. However, it would make the Great Depression look like that economy of the 80s for that country. I think the ones who don't understand what's going on here. So, a third world country. Who are you referring to as the third world country? Because I see a lot of people in the USA that get a lot of misinformation and they take it for truth. Who's the third world country? Justin, Tom, your TA is well received, valued, and well researched. It confirms what many of us see on the charts. Keep up the great work. It doesn't go unnoticed. Justin, thank you so much for the $10 donation as well. That is incredibly generous of you. And the likes are over 100. See, we're doing better now. Thank you very much. If you want more like-minded people, you got to hit the like button. Otherwise, YouTube's not going to push me through the algorithm and we're just going to sit flat. I prefer to have growth with all of us, me, you, and everybody else. So that's where we're at right now. The 200-day, we had a daily close. We managed to stay, I mean, essentially at the 200-day. Essentially, we were over it. We did fine. We were within range. Appreciate that, Justin. I just traded for new coins on Coinbase, but had my existing coins for 2 years. Do I still get 35% tax? So you just sold your ones ATK after 2 years? No. If you had them for 2 years and sold, it drops from 35 to 15. That's the big deal. Anything over a year, it goes from 35 to 15%. So you save 20% of your money. That's why I say we have to trade like the institutions and the businesses and the ones who own shares when it's in a bear market. You can trade and swing trade in a bull market when it's about to break back into a bear market. But while it's in a bear market, you can't just be buying and selling every 2 seconds. I'm telling you, it's the easiest way to kill profits. It doesn't seem like it until tax time. And it's not to like be mean, but I can see by a lot of comments over the weeks and months and years that most people don't understand the implications. So they're not making a lot of money in crypto. And there's nothing wrong with that. I know. I understand how it works. Crypto's a lot like gambling if you approach it that way. A lot of people futures trade. A lot of people don't understand the short-term mindset. That the short term you're supposed to be accumulating speculating if it's a bear market, not always worrying about where you can buy and sell, and not always to show how big your balls are in the comments by saying, see, this is the other thing. When you comment to me, you don't need to make a point and say, and I sold at 76 cents and everybody said I was going to regret it, but now look where we're at now. That doesn't make a point. That just shows that you're afraid of what you're saying. You're trying to already validate what you're saying. Show some confidence. Don't, because now if it wouldn't have dropped to that same level, you wouldn't now make this argument. You're only making it because it fits the narrative of the current price position. I don't do that. I don't do that at all. I just go with what I see. So just come at me straight. That's what I need. I don't care when you sold it. I don't care if you think you're a better trader than somebody. I don't. I never talk about if I'm a good or bad trader. I just try to tell you the plan. We're not supposed to be big-headed, remember? We're supposed to be... So you have the dark and you have the light. Part of the dark is feeling self-entitled and thinking that what you're doing is more of a, I don't know, it's more important than somebody else. I don't believe what I'm doing is more important than what you're watching. So I have to be factual. I have to be straight. I can't lie to you because now you're wasting your time. I just happen to be the one on the screen right now. When I log off, I'll be watching somebody else. And I expect them to have the same ethics with me. If they don't, I don't watch them. That's why when most of you ask me about the YouTubers, I don't give two shits about them because they don't have the same ethics as I have, so I can't watch them. So that's, I mean, I don't talk by names because I believe when you single people out, we're not, as an influencer, I'm not supposed to single people out. I'm supposed to single out XRP, crypto, what's going on with the ISO, with the internet, keep everybody on the same page. You know, so if we all have that unity and we can all do it together, this space would be so incredible if we could all just get on the same wavelength. So anyhow, I'm trying to waste time here because we have to watch these first couple candles. We know from yesterday in the daily, we had a bearish close yesterday, and it's so ironic how this happened. We really could make some noise because I still think in the daily, we got to retest this area. How are we going to have a bearish cross here and never show the rejection? You would think you would show some signal that we're very weak. So am I surprised by this extreme reversal? No. We talked about a slight recovery that would have to come down. If 524 broke, then we would have to see if 51 cents holds. Or actually it was 504 on the weekly. And it did. Quick wick back up. Even the daily ended up holding by the end of the candle close. We went from a gravestone doji, which is bearish, as we're showing more selling pressure than buying pressure in that candle. Even though we didn't give up this candle, notice we didn't give it up here, and even on this pull down we did not give up this previous candle. We came close, but we never gave up this candle. Turned right back into a gravestone. I mean dragonfly. From a gravestone to a dragonfly. Now it's firmly back in the bullish positioning here. I think before we break down, if we're going to go to 37, you would want to get a firm rejection here on a fake out because you're not just going to have everybody in long. You're going to need liquidity for the flush. So that's what I feel like. That's what I feel like I'm seeing. So 110 likes now. Thank you so much. 133 people watching. Make sure you hit that like button as it will help more people get in here like you and I. The more eyes we have, the better. Yes, Miss Vicky, I can. Yes, I can. So, DXY, that's more of a bullish formation there in the first candle. I mean, it's printing, it's trying to print bullish formations here. I'm telling you, ahead of the BRICS tomorrow, if we're going to pump again, if we're going to pump, this would be the time. I'm telling you, they're trying to show strength ahead of the BRICS. Once we knew the 22nd was coming around, see, I put the smiley face here. It's not bad. This is happy. And we ended up holding. So if we break 103.666, we're in good shape to try to push up to that 105.30. I don't know if they're going to have the strength to do that. But when the daily starts crossing the 50, now the 100, now we already had strength. We're looking to hold strength at 103.18 right now. We've already done it. We already did it in that candle. Now we're looking to break 103.51 before we lose 103.15. That's as truthful as I can be with the DXY. If you break over this on this candle, bullish. If you break below this on this candle, very bearish. You might have to come back down here. So I think, remember what we're talking about with XRP? Remember what we talked about with XRP? If XRP needs to come back up and retest the bearish cross in the daily, isn't it convenient how it lined up right here for the DXY to retest possibly the bullish cross? It's possible. It's possible it could be lining up. So if you see this start dumping, you could see a quick pump in crypto. Make sure, though, that you break this short-term reversal on the bullish side back to bearish on the DXY, and you break the short-term bearishness with that bearish cross and flip it back bullish before we get too excited. This is standard operating procedure after a drop right now. If we got the liquidity, let me just be frank. If we got the liquidity at 103.15 and started pushing back up and confirmed that cross at the 100, it's going to 105 plus. If that happens. And if it stays true, which would mean you'd have to get above 103 spot, the 666s, which is ironic, right? So there's a lot of things lining up here. And that means there would be a little more pressure with gold and silver. Look at Bitcoin. That doesn't show sign. Does Bitcoin scream I'm strong? No, Bitcoin screams I still need to go where Tom said my technical target was, but likely after a fake out to retest the 200, which would be around 27K. That wouldn't surprise me. I anticipate it to come down here still, but it would not surprise me if we don't come back up here first. It usually never happens after a big drop like that for continuation. Because why would it just stop here? It means that there was something set up there that they had to get through before we got down to the technical layer. So now we come back up, we dicking around, or excuse my French, we dilly-dally for a while. I'm trying to be better. We dilly-dally for a while. And then we get the liquidity like, oh, everybody thinks we're good again. And we get a rejection in this area around 27.2. And then we come down to 25.1 and everybody's like, what happened? I thought we were bullish. What the heck? If this breaks down past here, I mean, you're talking you could start filling gaps at 21.9. You got an old CME gap down there. Thank you very much, Miss Vicky. I appreciate that. So with XRP, that's where we stand as well. If we look at the DXY and everything that's affecting it. Now, if we watch it in the short term, we can look at the market cap. The market cap dumped 1.6 billion today at one point. Thank you very much, Terry. I appreciate that. George, the U.S. do not export almost anything to other countries, can leverage their commodities behind the currency. That's what the summit tomorrow is partly about. Yes, George, see, you nailed it. And that's why I said there's no coincidence that China is basically exporting all of our products, and they said, here, come put your factories here dirt cheap. And now they're flipping it on us. All these third world countries are flipping it on us. Don't you understand? This is the smartest play for third world countries to all band together. They're rich in almost all metals and oils. They're rich in them. And all the Saudis, if they're backing, if that's true, I'm just saying, if that's true, this is how you flip it over. And you don't think we can go to a third world country? I mean, I'm just telling you. So, I don't know. What else, everybody? What else? What else do we see? Do we understand what the daily cross, what we're dealing with here tonight? I know it's a boring night right now. There's not much we can really talk about. I still anticipate it to move up before it breaks down. I still think we need to hit that bearish cross. Now we've come up over the 20-day again. We're having this, what looks like, could be a dragonfly in the market cap. I still think, though, this looks like a V-shaped recovery as well, possibly. But I think we need to come up here and retest these levels again. And it's not like it's going to be a crazy retest. If XRP comes back up where we said, this retest, the bearish cross is happening there. First level would be to come up here, but we might have to come back up here and retest. We should. Not might. We should come up here. Africa has muscled up and is demanding respect. Yep. They sure are. And not just that. Everybody, if you don't think this is the real deal, do you know how many military bases have popped up? Not USA bases surrounding Africa. Because you're going to have to go through Africa now to stop this. Do you know how many bases have popped? The U.S. won't be able to get close enough. That's what nobody's seeing. Davey. Oh, man. Terry nailed that. Oh, no, not boring. Thank you, Jan. I appreciate that. Miss Vicky, I think big thing tomorrow is announced Saudi are joining the BRICS, which will be the beginning. Yeah, see, that could be the big announcement. If that's the announcement, that's it. They might as well just say they're on the gold standard. If the Saudis are backing it, they bring the gold. Remember that. If they say the Saudis are part of it, they're telling us without telling us they're back to the gold standard. But it's no coincidence that you had countries using their native currency instead of the US dollar to buy oil last week, 10 days ahead of the summit. Tom, because you live in Michigan. Yes, we do demand respect, damn it. They steal our drinking water. Nestle, for transparency purposes. You know they get 2 million bottles of water. They had a contract they signed. 2 million gallons of water for $2. Oh, and it gets better. Dana Nessel, our Attorney General, her husband is the one who's the head of Nessel. Jay, I don't know. You sure about that, Jay? Do you live in Michigan? I would tell you it's far worse than getting paid any money. How about the citizens paying them to take the water? Would that make you feel better? I'm trying to say it nicely. We're actually paying them. Oh, yeah. I gotcha. I thought you were saying the story's BS. But no, we're actually paying them to take our water through tax dollars. She's the Attorney General. That's her husband. She got put in after. I mean, there's no coincidences. No, Jay, that's not your fault. That's part of the issues with messaging. You guys can hear what I'm saying, but sometimes I misinterpret what you're saying, and Gail's. So, as we talked about when this first happened, bull flag or bear flag? Now we're coming to the apex of either side. Is this a bull flag or bear flag, ladies and gentlemen? This is how we can make this interesting here. Is this a bull flag or bear flag? What is this? In the daily, it's harder to see. U.S. is not allowed to join the BRICS. The BRICS is made in opposition. You cannot join the BRICS if you're part of the what? Oh, does anybody know? Yes, bull flag, hidden flex, RP. Why can't we join the BRICS? Does anybody know? Well, Jan, it would have started off as a bear flag. I think that's the optics here. There's one reason we can't join the BRICS. Oh, I'm sure, 100% sure we can't join the BRICS. The BRICS is created so that it's created to go against us. Yes. If you're part of the G7, notice how some countries are backing out of the G7, out of this being in their alliance, or it used to be the G20. That's why we have an allegiance. Not just that, what's the other thing missing from all of this? Patriot Kenos, thank you for the $20 donation. That was incredibly generous of you. Incredibly generous. Thank you so much. That always catches me off guard. It really does. Yep. Yes, NATO is the second part. Who said? Gladys, thank you. And Sean, yes, G8 and G7, absolutely. Absolutely. And Gladys, absolutely, NATO's the other part of that. Thank you. What a smart audience we have here. And I love our audience because we have people, guys and gals from, I think it said like 60-something countries that watch my station. It's insane. So you definitely are able to get the word out. I don't even know how many countries are watching right now. I think it was a bull flag, but if you actually pull this out and actually look at it, I think it set up this bull flag to have to retest that bearish cross. I do. And I know this is the market cap. I know it gave up at worst today or yesterday. We had when it first came down, we had a nice dump down, but today in this daily candle, we went from 28.49 down to 26.6. So we lost 1.8 billion. Right now we're down about, what is this? 700 million, roughly. Yeah, about 700 million. So we recovered over half. Tom is international. I sure. It's incredible. It's incredible, actually. Oh, I need to share this. Oops. I don't need to share that. This. So somebody was asking me about Uphold. This is what I got for being VIP now. This is the new limits, and there's several people. So I'm going to go over why this is important. So there's several people that have come to me in my audience, and I'm not saying names because I don't say names. There's over 10 people that own 100,000 or more XRP in our audience. Let's just put it that way. So their question is, if they own, even if you own 50,000, their question is, because they own such a large amount, they're only allowed to take out $10,000 per day. And I was trying to explain, I've been on since March of 2021, and I don't deal with that much money, but I got this sent to me 2 months ago. And you see under bank withdrawals, $100,000 per day they're allowing me to do. And I don't have anywhere near that. I only have $10,000 on Uphold. So what I was telling to a couple of these people is that I think they allowed me to do it. And if everybody says it's because I'm XRP Future Millionaire, wrong. This is under Julie's name. In case something happens to me, she's in control of my crypto. So we don't have to go around litigation because we're not married. So it has nothing to do with my status as XRP Future Millionaire. So I think they offered it to our account because there was no way we were going to use 100,000 per day, and we still would meet the 10,000 per day. Now that's my conspiracy. So how would we even know if this works? So does that seem like a conspiracy? Because that seemed a little shady to me, because several of the people that messaged me, their dates when they signed up for Uphold was well in advance of mine. I'm talking a year or two. So I find it hard to believe that our account would be selected when we're not even dealing with that much money. I think that's the reason why. So that's what I'm allowed to do on Uphold. That's why when I was asked yesterday, I was like, no, I can do 100,000. Yeah, the 10,000 a day is a joke. Just in case. What happens if, let's say my 10 grand turns into 100 grand? It's going to take me 10 days to withdraw it under the other way? No. KB, I did not ask. I just got a message that said, yada yada, exactly what it says on there, what it said. Didn't have any further explanation. It just said, we're delighted to tell you that as a valued customer, you're one of the first to receive an Uphold VIP account. How exciting. And then it says, take a look at what you'll get. So, I mean, 100,000 a day to deposit, withdraw. I mean, that's a lot better. Bank deposit, wire transfers, unlimited, card deposits, 25,000 per day, 100,000 per week. That's a lot on a card. So, and then withdrawals of U.S. banks deposits ACH to external crypto wallets as soon as the funds have settled, typically within 4 business days. Non-VIP users have to wait 65 days. So, I mean, that's a big difference. So that's why I was a little like, whoa, I thought more people were sent this. Can't you spend it with an Uphold Visa card? Not anymore. I used to have an Uphold card. I loved it. Loved it. It had unlimited withdrawals as well. But that, when the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission came after exchanges, their banking partner decided that it wasn't worth the risk anymore for the U.S. You can still do it in the U.K., but in the USA, they won't let us do it anymore, unfortunately. MC, they don't want us draining their liquidity all at once. Exactly. And because they don't do what a lot of other exchanges do to raise capital, I'm telling you guys, they do things differently, and you have to pay a little bit more of a fee for certain things. They have to abide by more strict standards than a normal crypto exchange. They process the delivery of precious metals. You have to have the highest classification. It's a normal crypto exchange doesn't have the clarity or the clearance or the proper paperwork or proper just clearance, like the approval from governments across the world. You can't just be an exchange and deliver precious metals. Do you know how big of a backing Uphold has to have to deliver gold and silver on spot? On the spot? Especially gold. I don't know if you can get silver actually, but I know you can get gold. Hopefully never. You never want to see Uphold go public with an IPO. You want them to stay private. You don't want them to go public. Just you don't want them to go public, especially as a gold broker. Uphold pays out very... Yes, they do. Literally, when I bought my house last year, was the most I used it. Like, set it up. Because I took off, like... Over time, last year I was swing trading more, as everybody knows, because I was building up funds, because I wanted to not drain my account to put my down payment and everything, because I have a lot of money switched over, not just in cash. So I was doing a lot more leverage trading, but then I seen the danger of it, trying to teach everybody it. So then I decided to stop. But I had several purchases or withdrawals, and I'm not talking huge chunks of money, like 35, 45, 35, because I like to keep it lower. And I did that like 5 or 6 days in a row. And every day, the next day it was showing up. And here's another thing. I always tell everybody to do this as well. Kraken. I have a Kraken account open up. And listen, if you're mad about Uphold, let's just say you can do 10,000 a day. I opened a Kraken account. There's no waiting period. After I verified it, it was like 3 days. I could send money. So now I will send money from another exchange. Let's just say Femex. I can send it from Femex to Kraken and do $5,000-$10,000 a day. So that's another off ramp, and I never trade on it, but it's something open to me in the USA to get money into my bank. See, that's what people don't do. You have to find the ones in the USA that are big enough with the liquidity so that if you need to use it, and I don't keep anything on Kraken for transparency, I simply use them for an off ramp to get money to my bank accounts. I haven't put any real money in to exchanges in years. I've had the capital on my exchanges for a long time. The only thing I'll do is I'll simply sell some stuff out if I make too much money. I don't like to have too much on. And yeah, I have 10,000 on Uphold, but it started at like 5 or 4,700 in the bear market. I can't help that stuff has gone up. So that's what I do. You know, and that's why I always tell you, look in the video description below. I've got BITGET, I've got MEXC. Femex for the USA, it's the lowest spot fees that you're going to find with no VPN, no KYC, and they have XRP in the USA. It's a 0.9% maker fee. Upholds can be upwards of 4% if it's volatility. So I use that. Femex, I have liquid cash on there. That's where my liquid cash goes. Besides FOMO Fridays and Winning Wednesdays, my liquid cash to buy more XRP used to be on BITGET. I send it over to Femex because BITGET stopped allowing USA users. I still have it in the video description below for everybody to see if they want to use it, because some people like it. I personally love BITGET, but I'm not going to promote it for the USA that I use it if the USA can't sign up to it. And I'm not affiliated with any of these. This is just all the links are on the same spot, because everybody kept asking me, and it's like it becomes tiring to just talk about it. So that's why I do what I do. I was very raw in 2021. I knew the charts, didn't understand the exchanges, and do all this stuff like I'm doing now. Now I understand how to manipulate the exchanges. My XRP that I bought, none of it was purchased on Uphold. All of it was purchased on BITGET, and there was no spot fees at the time. Which means anybody who bought it on Uphold likely paid a few $100s more than I did for those same purchases. So if you can save that money, and then I put it towards a full purchase, ironically, of VeChain, to save money, that if you want to break it down. Or more. It was probably more than that. But if you can save money, don't be the victim of the exchange. Even though I love Uphold, it doesn't mean I'm tied to their balls. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I keep trying to better my words, and I know there's a lot of kids watching with their parents now. I'm not tied to their personal interests. Let's put it that way. So we have to do what's best for us. And if you can save a bunch of money, might as well find a way to do it. Then some ask me, well, Tom, what am I supposed to do? I got my money in USD on Uphold. That's where the problem lies. That's where the problem lies. Now, how do you get out of Uphold? You can't do USDT. I found out, though, if you send USDT to Uphold, even though they don't allow it, it just sends it through Ethereum, and then they just buy and sell Ethereum. So you still lose money, but you can get it there, which it's a waste. But like all I would do if I'm doing something is you have to start building capital around. That's why I like to have XRP floating on different exchanges, because then if I need to send it somewhere, that's liquidity. $100 60x future now. I mean, Con, think about that. That's a 60. I don't even think you should 1x or 2x, because listen, when we had that liquidity sweep, oh yeah, whoever said that, we're about to. If it's legal where you're at, smoke that cannabis. It's time to light it up here. I always say I found this when I was 23. I wish I was younger. I broke my back. They had me on all kind of pain medicines, and when I found this, the plant, it changed my life. But the whole futures trade, that's the easiest way to lose your bag. It's the number one way people lose their XRP, because they will mortgage their XRP bag thinking they're going to get more. Now a 60x trade, let me be very clear with you. A 60x trade, XRP, and I'm going to show you something. Let's just say it's at, hold on, let me go into the XRP chart. Let's just say XRP is 5228, and we come down here. It only comes down to 508 within this candle, which is completely possible as a fake out. That would effectively liquidate you, even if there's a further 10% move. So some would be like, oh, that's a 600% move on a 60x. Yes, but for it to sweep you out, it literally doesn't even have to go anywhere. Now, on the futures, let me tell you a horror story. On a 2x futures trade, everybody says it's safe. I don't have to worry about it. Do you know during that liquidity sweep, the 2x leverage on longs were also liquidated? Because the common misinterpretation, you have to read the fine print. Each exchange is a little bit different. But on average, you only have to be about 78% through liquidation to get 100% liquidation. So even if I want to play it all the way to their liquidation price, I will put a stop loss just above it so that I get 20% of my stuff back. Because I'm not just going to let them keep 20%, but I'll run it all the way to liquidity if that's my plan. In the past when I used to do it. If I'm going to have it all the way to liquidity and just let the exchange take it away from me, set the stop loss just before it, because you're going to find yourself saving about 22% of your money, even though it says you're liquidated. Because you only have to be about 78% to get liquidated. And that's some shit right there, if you think about it. So the 2x leverage traders were all wiped out. All of them. I heard some people lost up to $30,000 in minutes. And they said all they were doing was putting their X on. I'm not kidding. We heard it in the chat a few days ago by somebody who lost 3,000 or 4,000 in XRP, and all they were trying to do, and I advise against it every time I get asked this question, they wanted to leverage out XRP, so we were having a run. They decided to sell their spot. They put it in at a 2x value, half of it. So let's say they had $6,000 in XRP. They sold 3,000, said, okay, I'm going to put this in. I'm going to do a 2x trade, and on this big run up, now instead of having 6,000 in it, I'm going to have like 8,000. Well, what ended up happening is now they have 3,000 in XRP, and they don't have any more funds because that was their entire trade bag. So don't think the exchanges are being your friend by offering leverage. That's just like the casino offering you odds in a slot machine. It's to lure you in. Their goal is to take your money. Nobody, and I mean nobody, and I don't care who it is, I don't care how big their baluchkis are, I don't care how big their brain is, and I don't care how experienced they say they are, because if I'm telling you I can't be profitable over 365 straight days futures trading because of the volatility, nobody is. Because I guarantee you nobody understands the charts like I do. Now, yes, I have a strategy where I can't lose because I understand the moments in the chart. 10x trade, and nobody follow this because I don't do it currently. But if I were to trade, wink, wink, if you're a leverage trader, if you have $1,000, you're doing it wrong if more than $100 goes in on that first 10x. Then every time it goes down 1%, which is 10% for you, you buy 10% more. So your goal is for it to go down 10%. I know it sounds crazy, Your goal is for it to go down so you can get all 10 buys, and you shouldn't. If you did it right, you shouldn't. So right now, if you had a 10x trade, you buy it at 524. Every 10% down, and you could clear this entire move. It's only 6.8%. And you would still have leverage. 37 cents. I don't know if you could clear that entire move. No, hell no, you can't clear that entire move. You can't even clear this one now because it came up so high. What am I talking about? You can clear this move. That's it. So if you did 10 buys, you would have to say it's going to stop. This is no man's land. But futures trading, the main game here is for you to lose your that's it, your tokens. That's it. So I advise against it, even at 2x. If you want to increase your holdings, accumulate in the bear market like I am with all my stuff. I showed you how to get H bar for 50 bucks a week. And I said 50 bucks a week is a lot for some, but I made a comparison. If I had to do it now, I would be collecting cans. There's a lot of cans that go uncollected. And that's not a joke. 50 bucks a week in cans. Yes, it's gonna take some time, but it's not undoable. Just think. You break that up into days, so then you put that in, and 50 bucks a week to be part of FOMO Fridays for H-Bar. We got a 5.2 average over 9 weeks, $527. You had 9 weeks. We could have been doing this, finding a way to make some extra income, whether you have to work extra time at work, whether you have to put in extra time on the charts, whether you have to put in extra time doing your side hustle, whatever the case may be. And then you could have that. And over 9 weeks, I showed everybody. It's not a race. We're like the fucking tortoise here. I'm sorry, Jesus. You know, I try so hard, but it just comes out. But it, you know, it's a long stretch here, folks. Everybody's trying to trick everybody. It always drives me insane when I see an influencer sign up to my account so you can leverage trade. Thanks a lot, asshole. Oh, excuse my French. Thanks a lot, sir or ma'am. You just cost me my great trading ethic. And like, let me get back to it. Nobody over the whole grand scheme, 365 days a year, just like anybody sports betting. And if you don't think it's true, go look at a professional gambler like Dave Portnoy, and he's very vocal about it, about what he bets. Look how much money he loses, and he thinks he knows sure things every day. He covers it every day. He's got the insider information every day. Yes, a lot of that dog and pony so that we waste money on bets. But just think about it. Nobody is success. That's why when somebody tells me I don't lose leverage trading, I have a system. Okay. So whether you thought it was going long or short, you would have got liquidated within this candle. So, I mean, it wouldn't have mattered where you bought it in that structure. It just doesn't matter. So what system do we have that can stop us from hitting a sweep? Leon, so everyone on Twitter is just hyping up nothing burgers. They always are. If you think crypto leverage trading is anything special, go to just type in FanDuel on YouTube for DFS, which I told everybody, I don't watch crypto and gamble at the same time. So that means my FanDuel account, it's suspended until Michigan football season goes. I don't watch it, or the NBA playoffs. Those are my only two exceptions. But it has to be my sports team. I won't gamble in the off season, or if it's not the NBA playoffs. There's an analytical approach with the NBA playoffs that I just can't avoid. And you're talking plus 10,000 odds I've hit many times in the NBA playoffs. So it's a whole mind bender. So I'm just trying to be honest with everybody. I've gotten offered from so many exchanges to advertise their leverage trading and yada yada yada, and they'll pay you, and it's just not worth it. The only thing I ever tried to get people to do was copy trading, but the moment I realized BitGet was flawed and they wouldn't let you buy in with my system, I discontinued it. And people were mad because some of us were making money, but a lot of you were losing money. Even if I was making money, because I have 10 different buys, it would only let you do one. And it wouldn't back up any. So Uphold had a thing where if I made 10 trades on XRP, it would open up 10 different trades. it wouldn't put it into a lump sum, which means the average would just be wherever you bought it in on each buy, which defeated the purpose of the strategy. Crypto Poppy, I mean, there's not much going on today, honestly. I think XRP, it showed its strength here in the end of this candle, even though we pushed down, that's a dragonfly. I think what XRP is trying to do here is it's going to retest this bearish cross. It barely ever happens without it doing it. If you're going to continue down, this looks like a bull flag. This, yes, it's disguised as a bear flag, but this is a bull flag. Don't let them confuse you. This is misdirection. That's why I said when it first happened, is this bullish, bearish, looks like a bull flag disguised in a bear flag, and it should come up here. At worst, we should come up there. Whether it meets it down here, if it consolidates out and it happens down here, we don't know. Because every day, this is going to continue to come down. It started up here, the bullish cross, or the bearish cross was up at 61. Now it's down at 58.8 just 4 days later. So we just have to see where it hits. It very well could be at 55. It could consolidate out and you hit it right here at the top of this formation at like 56, about 57. We just don't know. But we need to correct, or we need to validate this bearishness by retesting this bearishness. Drop down, retest it. And that's why I think this set up in a bull flag and why we keep holding the 200 EMA. After a big volatile move down, we held it yesterday, today. Even after that pull down, we did it again and held it. We completely flipped from a gravestone doji, still went bearish like it showed, but by the end of it, we were back on the right side of town, flipped it into a dragonfly doji, and now it's going to be based on this candle. Really, all we want to do is see us break above 54 cents approximately before we lose 504. That's our goal here. Terry, you're getting scared. You're starting to think like me. I know it is scary, but after you start watching me for a while, you know what happens. You will. Miss Vicky, nothing to be embarrassed about. The only thing you should be embarrassed about is not following through and asking this question. Fire away. KBS Heck Time, I'm just trying to figure out upholding Coinbase. I get that, KB. It was hard for me at first. Okay, so the CME gap. So all that's referring to, and my candlesticks aren't set up that way, but you can go into the 1 minute, and there's gaps that form in a chart. And it's hard to see with the Heikinashi. I acknowledge that. You're not going to be able to see it. I can show you, but you're not going to be able to see it in the Heikinashi. So let me go. I can't see. They updated this, so I need to. I never switch my stuff, so. Where did they? Oh, maybe right. They switched everything on me. They always do this. But if I go to regular candlesticks, let me go to Bitcoin real quick. So we're basically looking for anomalies here. So you see how you get these little gaps? Say you have these gaps in the 1 minute. We'll go into a higher time frame. The 1 minute's going to be hard. Nah, maybe the 1 minute would be the best. No, we'll stay in the 5. Let's go into a higher time frame. Yeah, see, it's going to be harder. I'll just do it in the 1 minute, just so we can get done with this real quick. So, basically what this means is you have a drop down, and there's a big gap around like 21,500 area maybe. So, look at, see how we broke up here, down, we had a break up, right? See this gap right here? See how nothing, okay, you had to pull down. See how when we broke up, there's this gap right here. Nothing ever retested it right here, right? Does everybody see that who's watching? You see that gap right there in the 1 minute? Just follow me. I just want to see if everybody's paying attention. Enjoy your evening. Looking forward to updates tomorrow. Yes, sir, Mr. Extra Sour Cream Taco Supreme. Yes, sir. Have a good one. Oh, you're welcome, Crypto Poppy. So that's a gap right here. So now, no matter how high we go, the legend says we have to come back and retest that at some point. So let's see what happens. Bitcoin went all the way up here to 26.2 on this first run up in the 1 minute. What did it do? Now it came all the way down here and now it's retesting this area. It fulfilled that gap. This is technically the computers. And I don't talk about this a lot, but I have this education. I know what this means. I just like Taikanashi because I don't have to deal with these gaps. I have wicks. So if you're looking through it and you're trying to be like, and this, sometimes as you'll see, you can have parabolic runs, but it usually always comes back and fills these gaps. So notice how this seemed like it was off to the races. We had a gap. Now on the way back down, there's not any gaps. That's the thing. On the way back down, are there any gaps here that I don't really see any? Let's just take a look here together. Maybe this will help you for your own. So came down, no gap, came down, little gap, filled it out. Came down, down, down. This is filled back up. We came down. Okay. Right around 26,200. That could be an anomaly where we have to fill out. 26,200. So at 26,200, I'm just going to put this for the hell of it right now. At this gap here, 26,193. What's the odds that Bitcoin comes back up here now? So remember what we showed. Every move up, it came back down to cover this gap. Does that mean it came back down and now it'll cover this gap even if it's bearish? We'll see. But what did we already talk about Bitcoin? And I do this for a reason. So hopefully, and this is why I don't like to charge for anything. Anybody who watches, all you have to do is ask and I'll teach you. You might not even know what you're asking. Like Miss Vicky thought it was a stupid or an embarrassing question. It turns out to be the best question of the night. Because this is something I don't often show you ever, if ever. So, remember 26,200 or 190, whatever? Here's 27,000. Now we go back to the 4 hour. How do we get up there? 26,000, what is this? Here's a gap area. What's the odds that we're trying to play back through here for a rejection? And that would satisfy that gap at 26,002 or 194, would it not? So if we have to come for rejection there still, that satisfies that gap in the 1 minute we've seen. And you can take it out into different time frames. I did it in the 1 minute because it's the easiest to show you and it's the shortest way to show the validation. So now let's see if it fills that out. And if it covers the gap and keeps going, you got something going. If it gets rejected there, you know it was just the computer system filling in the gaps. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate that greatly. You're welcome, Miss Vicky. We'll go take a look at H-bar as well. But does everybody understand what I'm talking about? So when I say a CME gap, that's what I'm referring to. You got a big area around 21,500 roughly. So I mean, gap filled. Now we have a gap up around 26,194 that we at least picked out together. This was, I mean, that pretty much filled that. Right here though, that's a looming gap that has not, we came down, came back up, dropped. We never back tested the drop. So that's where I would say if we're coming back up in the short term, it could happen in the very short term. But at some point, you got to come back up and likely test that. It's always almost a foregone conclusion. That's why you get the volatility, and that's why futures trading is a pain in the ass. I firmly believe that's why they have futures trading. Think about it. Now you futures trade and you got to fill all these gaps up and down, but nobody knows what and then some people will trade the gaps. Well, now what happens? They trade the gap and they say, okay, well, XRP's got to, nope, filled the gap, see? There you go. There you go. XRP has a gap up here. So there you go. We can mark that one as well in the 1 minute. But I'm going back to my other chart, my other candle view. So 136 people still watching. That's incredible. So what's at 524, we ask ourselves? Is there anything important at 524? Let's go over this together. So the 524. Does anybody remember what the 524 is? Out of curiosity. Oh, holy smokes. Who would have guessed? The trading box left the gap right at the 200 resistance. Who knew? I mean, you can't make this up. It always lines up. So then some people are technical. That's what I say. You ever hear me say, I have to keep this stuff on for the technical traders? I need to know where they're hiding out. How many times have you heard me use that line? It probably make you sick. But you see the difference? Heikinashi, look how clean it is. Beautiful. The Japanese knew what they were doing. You see how beautiful that is? See how ugly that is, but it shows the gaps? I think that's ugly. Give me the Heikinashi. Oh, man. It just cleans it up. So, I mean, that's some good information. Has anybody else ever shown you that? I don't know. Do you ever see that on other stations on the spot? Getting asked a question on the spot like that and then just, here you go. Uh, 624. And look, remember when we bought H-bar? I said, the reason we're buying this formation is so everybody can have an average and they'll initially see their investment pay off after finishing it. Remember, after we accumulated, I said they'd get an immediate boost up. Even if it came back through, they'd get an immediate boost up and they'd be like, oh my God, this works perfectly. He told us to buy it over 9 weeks. We got a 5.2 average. End of May into late July. Or middle of May into late July. We got a 5.2 average. And by God, right after we bought it, now all of a sudden we're up. And we did it over 9 weeks. We didn't know if we should trust them. That it was the right time to buy just so we could get a little bit of clarity. We'll just say 5.2 right here. And now, we're looking beautiful. We're up better than 18%. Oh, I am, Miss Vicky. They don't know it, but I am. I'll be honest with you. I am already training the influencers. None of you even know it. It's happening just by me doing the content. The more people wake up and they start calling bullshit on what they're seeing at other places, they're going to have no choice but to try to adapt or get left behind. My channel may only have 18,200 subscribers now, but my end game is 2028 to get to where I need to go. I need to put in 7.5 years straight without missing a day on YouTube to make this happen. And I believe I'll be over 6 figures with viewers by then if I do this right. And with subscribers. But I also think I'm going to be the most trusted and the most foremost place to look for technical analysis on everything, not just crypto. But if you ask a question, you're going to get the truth. Never say only that's true. That's true. We'll get there. This year gave me a lot of confidence too that my goal will be met. I had a goal for 17,500 subscribers down this year. We're at 18,200 plus now. And it's only August. We got time. But you know, I like trial and tribulation, so the truth is never heard first. Hopium always gets views. If you play to somebody's emotions and their fears, you're always going to get views more. But if you tell somebody the truth, it's going to take the longest for them to accept you. Nobody wants to hear the hard truth. But once you understand it, you never go anywhere else. And the biggest compliment I get is when people say, I've had to remove all the influencers because they cloud my judgment. I don't want you to get rid of them, but if they do news, don't pay attention to what they say about parabolic spikes. I mean, there's a few that can do charts, but they're paid to do what they're doing, so it's not genuine. Even if they understand the charts, you ever see somebody you're like, man, they're good at the charts, and then one day you're like, what the hell are they talking about? Why would they tell me to buy here? Or why do they keep telling me about these new 1000x coins and supposedly they care about XRP? The bottom line for a lot of people is very luring. It's not for me, because I know a way to make my bottom line. I don't have to extort you guys to do it. And every month we get a little bit stronger. Watching you talk about the market and making money is better than what any teacher ever Yep, I know. And I've been asked why I don't want to be a financial advisor, as because people see me on here. Let's just say there's been a few, I'll say, institutions that have reached out and asked me if I was interested in getting certified as an advisor. And in my simple words to them will always be, you can shove it up your ass. There's no amount of money they could offer me to be a financial advisor. I lose my creativity, and then you have to do what they say, and then I'm hurting people. See, no amount of money can buy me. That's what I'm trying to explain to everybody. My heart's pure because I can't hurt people. It's a gift, and it's also a curse. I can't hurt people. So if I'm costing you your life savings so that I can make a quick buck, like 90% of the people in the space, I can't live at night. I can't sleep. I already can't sleep. So with H-bar, 3-hour time frame, this is a good candle here. This is a beautiful candle right now. We were bearish on the consolidation, put in the long leg doji of sorts. Leon, just found out about your channel. By the way, are you Albanian? Because I watched the video where you were at an Albanian wedding. I actually am Lebanese and Italian. My cousin married in. So I am not, but by marriage, but with my cousin, I was able to enjoy the wedding because I was invited there. I was honored to be invited there because it was apparently, well, I mean, it was black tie. It was a very exclusive invite list, apparently. So I was happy to be there. But, you know, I like to enjoy all cultures, so that was definitely fun. Oh, it was. It was. And it was special because that's the first time Julie's been able to go out to anything like that since her surgeries. So it's been like 3 years. She's had 6 surgeries. By the way, everybody keeps asking about her. And I know people they already know me. They know when I start to relax, I'm going to leave. Every time I relax, when I say I'm about to go, we lose about 30% of the audience. But over 100 of you, I can never shake. But Julie's getting her next surgery in September, FYI. So I'll still be here, but I'll be doing maybe a lot more walking back and forth. She's getting her hardware removed, all that good stuff. So she had a fake cadaver bone put in. They had to take out her talus bone and put a new one in. So that's what's happening. Tommy's doing good. He's got his therapy on Wednesday for his leg. He struggles. I mean, he's got a weird walk. His foot points out a little bit. He's got a limb differential. He broke his femur when he was 6 months old in that car accident. It wasn't Julie's fault, but nonetheless, they both are going to have lifelong consequences. But, you know, like I always say, we give him lots of love, positivity. He's very sensitive. He doesn't like loud noise. He'll put his hands over his ears. He's very PTSD ridden from it. But he's getting there. He'll get there. He's developmentally delayed. And he doesn't talk. He won't talk. But he's only 4. I didn't talk until I was almost 5. So all the Speaker boys they didn't start talking until they're almost 5. But once we started talking, it was over. So, you know, that's why I always say this is good clarity for me. Because I had my own accidents when I was younger. You know, I've experienced a lot. So, like, I deal with a lot of mental stuff. Like, not like, oh my God, I'm mentally insane or anything. But, you know, PTSD is very bad. So I come on here and we talk. And I get through it. But with H-bar, this is a good candle. Long leg doji. No, I know, ATK. Exactly. Now I won't shut up. I started not as talkative, and now it ends up very talkative. But you see the morale picks up. See, 167 likes, 111 people here. That's I like that. You know, you talk about I feed off of energy. I used to get very affected by the negative energy, but now it feeds me in a different way because I like to show the positivity can shine. The light can take over the dark, and you need the dark to show you the light. Just like you need the negative people to show you the positive matters. Just like, you know, you need the people who are hateful so that you understand love. Just like you need to understand divisiveness so you understand unity. I mean, everything has I mean, that's how it has to be. God is good, you know this. Oh, I do know this. That's why I wear the hat I'm wearing right now. Yeshua. And the other reason I'm not wearing my Michigan hat, my Big Ten championship hat, as you guys all know, the stitching came out in both spots. The Michigan thing came off first. Julie's mom put it back on. Then the Big Ten championship came off. And that's the official hat that they charge $45. Old Vincenzo bought me that one, so I bought him the one 2 years ago in 2021. Mine is still good, the one I bought. The one he bought is just, he must have bought it from China. Oh, wait a minute, everybody bought it from China. So, this is the long leg doji, it looks like. This is the sign that we have not as much strength on the push down. If we get a bullish candle here, it could start to invalidate the reversal, but if we do get rejected here, this is where you could have another move down to the 200 days. So other than that, if this is showing us this is a nice consolidation, we'll get back on top of 6.2 and hold it. Then your next move, the next big move here is going to be around 7.7, maybe a little lower, 7.4. No, 7.12, I apologize. So that's what I got, everybody. My voice is tired. I appreciate everybody who tuned in. I really do. I really do. The negativity got you good for about 2 weeks, and then you had a revelation. Yep. It did. It was a few months ago where I had, that was more than a few months now. But yeah, no, it definitely did. But no, it wasn't just a few weeks, or for a few weeks. I would go on and off over the first 2021, 2022, now 2023, especially from, I still think my accident on my bike, July 4th, is when I really understood what I needed to do. I had just started doing the lives, but now, the way I'm doing it's different. It's just different. It's different. So, I appreciate that, Omar. I feel better with all of you. Thank you, everybody. I gotta go. I see Julie waving at me, I think. But it's hard to see because it's... Thank you all so much. I gotta go check on the fam.